boiling hot reptile room. Welcome back to the vlog. We've been on a road trip to Ross-on-Wye, Jackie and I. We've had a one-day holiday, which was actually a business trip, to get a snake to pair up with a snake that I've got, that I've grown on. And we've been to Rainforest Exotics to see Dave. He is, I don't know, the king of colubrid snake and others, breeders in the UK. He breeds all the stuff that no one else has got. Southern hognose snakes, musaranas, several species of Drymarchon, which is what we've been for. He even gave me a few McLeese spectras, giant prickly stick insects. Look at that. First exotic pet I ever had as a kid, a giant prickly. So that's a little nymph. It's going to grow up and be part of the school team. I'll show you something else. Well, it's that small, I probably won't show you. But in there is a curly hair tarantula to go with the one we've already got here. He just gave me that as well because he's got quite a lot of them. Quite a lot of invertebrates there. The shop is immaculate. It's as immaculate a reptile shop as you can find anywhere. That thing's tiny. All kinds of reptiles, amphibians, inverts, all presented immaculately at really fair and good prices. But for sure, if rare and unusual colubrid snakes are the things you're after, Rainforest Exotics and Dave is the place to go and find out about. The only person in the UK this year that would have bred yellowtail crebos. I would say the only person in the UK that's bred eastern indigo snakes this year, and probably one of 3 or 4 people that's bred blacktail crebos, the one we went for. He has a lot of stuff that no one else has, and he's got the skills to propagate and breed and work with these animals. Just about to leave, and I happen to mention, still trying to find a male Baron's Racer. He said, Dave, don't go yet. I've got a male Baron's Racer. I've got more than one. Do you one of those at a sensible price? So we've now got a full trio of Baron's Racers. We've got the 2 green girls and this lovely brown male to go with them. Well grown on individual, and probably in another 12 months, something we'll be able to produce. Now we have, or we will have in 12 months, pretty much an adult trio. The girls are huge. Another year on him, he'll be more than old enough or big enough to breed. So very successful. I'll show you the main event in a second. But for sure, check out Rainforest Exotics. Social media wise, Dave always says he doesn't really keep up with it. I think he's well connected. I don't think he needs to keep up with it, but he does his best, bless him, he says. Colubrid on Instagram, Facebook, his sort of personal snake page, and Rainforest Exotics, the shop. Highly recommended. Certainly for that person that really wants the rare and the unusual captive bred. Even things like blue Baron's Racers. He breeds them all. He's the man in the UK that breeds all these weird and wonderful, really, really rarely sourced colubrid snakes here. He's also a bit of a trendsetter. He set up his shop. He doesn't sell any giant snakes. Like he says, most of the stuff from the shop is sort of the pet market. He doesn't sell turtles. He doesn't sell giant snakes. He was telling me he's going to stop selling royal pythons probably. Stuff that is bred en masse and then returned en masse. Trying to be really as ethical as he can with what he does. Actually setting trends in many quarters, but nobody knows because he doesn't write or post all about it on social media. But certainly someone that really cares about his animals and the reptile keeping hobby here in the UK in general. Check them out. Let me sort these guys out and I'll show you that lovely blacktail crebo. And as I've said before, Baron's Racers, one of the most interesting, loveliest snakes you could keep. Wow, the first hot day for ages. I'm melting in this room. Here he is, just gone into blue. Can you believe it? A little baby, blacktail crebo. Look at it. Something very rare in the UK. Only a few people really still working with these, or rather fortunate enough to have these. few more being bred than the indigos or the yellowtails. But yeah, handful of people breeding these in the UK. This is unrelated, originating from black pearl reptiles in the US, but unrelated to the male that we have. He's now huge and 2 years old. Look at this little beauty. If you're someone that's hell-bent on having something like a king cobra, but not just for the kudos, for the big intelligent presence, then black-tailed crebos are for you. Non-venomous, wonderful to handle, grow absolutely huge, and have a presence of mind for a snake, seeming to have a bit of intelligence, and certainly make a terrific species to keep. Black-tailed crebo. Enjoy the rest of the video. So very simple housing for now, till she puts on a bit of size. Simple hide, coir peat and a water bowl. Everything she needs to feel secure and carry on feeding well. Enough bit of humidity there for when she sheds. Perfect container, perfect housing. These things grow like weeds, and obviously soon it'll have to go into something else, but this is the perfect thing for a small, near hatchling snake to feel really comfortable in.
Oh, you would be happy, would you, looking at it? Aye.
What was it today? It was three and a half. And it was
Look at Grandad holding his Kez glove and
ankle.
ankle.
You see these others that walking better than
yeah, hold your hand like that. Hold your hand like that.
It's not an owl, is it?
How do I hold them up so long?
Well, you bring it into your body like that. Like get comfy. Like mints. Mints like that.
The answer is, Dad, they're not 80 years old.
Yeah, but you walk about.
It looks really small like that, actually. It looks quite pathetic. Push it, Dad, push it towards me this way. Hold your hand this way. Oh, it looks bigger now. That fisherman's trick. Bit of nostalgia for you now. Excuse me. So last week I mentioned I bought a book, a second-hand bookshop. It was actually a charity shop, I think, about the River Nen, source to sea. And I said, very fascinating. And there's loads of history of Northamptonshire and many other things in there. And I found it quite an interesting book, written in '97. Imagine my utter shock and surprise, literally sitting in bed reading it one night next to Jack, and I went, turn to page 54. I said, yeah, this picture looks a bit like my dad. Looked a bit closer. I thought, it really does look like my dad. I read the caption, it is my dad. I never knew it was in there. So look at that. My dad's actually in this book that I mentioned to you only last week when he was 50 years old, 30 years ago. Where is that time? He was a year younger than me then than I am now. Guys, live your lives and enjoy your lives. And for oh, goodness sakes, get outside and see that world out there. In other news, nostalgia, Georgia was actually at my mum and dad's house looking through some old photos. Now, not only is there this rather cute one of me with a trout, but look at these. Me and my really good old friend, I've totally lost touch with, Keith Brady, grew up this guy. I don't know, we were probably 16 years old, and he's holding my Burmese python at the time, and I'm holding my reticulated python. Of course, in those days, both species totally wild caught. Look at those amazing snakes. So my interest in all this thing and keeping these animals started long ago. Oh, you guys, I've got to do a couple more videos here in the reptile room. I'm having some changes around. I've got animals to look after. We're going to do a little bit of a video of how I made my tarantula sort of set up there. Inexpensive, but very attractive to look at and nice to view the animals in. I've got baby snakes to care for. I've got adverts to put up. I've got to contact people that have ordered these baby snakes a year ago, and so on and so forth. Lots and lots to do. It's pouring of rain again. Yep, again in August, summer holidays, another pouring rainy day. So I'm going to do a lot of stuff inside. Later on to the Falconry Centre, get some birds ready for tomorrow, where we're doing a children's club kind of event, where we're going to go and take some animals and birds for some, children. I was going to say special needs. I guess they are special needs. Children with varying levels of autism. So we're going to take different animals that they can not only see but touch and hold in a safe environment. Many people with autism and Asperger's, certainly even in my close world, love animals, have a real oneness with animals, whereas maybe they find people a bit more challenging. With animals, it's a completely different thing. So it really gives those children not only something to look forward to tomorrow, but a really great experience. So lots and lots to do. I'm wrapping up the vlog. It's a shorter one this week, and there'll be plenty more in next week's vlog. And of course, there's still going to be the usual reptile and falconry video out this week as well. So if you haven't seen them, check out the playlist. Check out the playlist anyway. Please subscribe, and I'll leave you on this note. We hit 2,000 subbers only this week, thanks to all of you. Massive appreciation. If you watch and you don't subscribe, or you don't comment, or you don't share the videos, please do. It tells YouTube to help me, because if you tell YouTube by interacting, YouTube then sends those videos to other like-minded people. So guys, you're all brilliant. This little baby channel, it's at 2,000 subscribers, all thanks to you. You're brilliant, and I'll see you next time.